Was ist das? everybody, it's Monday, which means it's time for the Troubleshooters. So we're going to do some brief announcements this evening. As you all know, I went into this long diatribe last week about all the upcoming stuff, and I'm really excited. I'm going to break it down into two things. First of all, Mother Lovin' Spelljammer coming in August, so this summer. It is not a single book. It is 3 books: campaign setting, monsters guide, and the adventure itself. Boom. And then Mother Lovin' Dragonlance. That's right. We're going to Kren later this year, late 2022. That is awesome. For those of you who didn't catch it, Wizards of the Coast purchased D&D Beyond, and I'm looking dead ass at Q right now because they were like, "Oh, look at that!" It's like, this is old news. Where are you at? So, anyways, also, if you haven't tuned in to many of the episodes of this, definitely tune your ass in next week because we've got something special dropping. We'll be dropping it all throughout the day, but specifically we'll be dropping it here on the last episode of the Troubleshooters. That is correct. You heard me. The last episode of Les Troubleshooters. That's canonical French. And that's it. Troubleshooters are done. No more pew 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 and weird shit happening. What we do have, though, is the following week starts our show, our brand new show, our new baby, the one that we have been working our asses off on. Auditions, getting music made, new art, and the art, might I say, looks phenomenal. Nereus, once again, coming in. I'm going to rename you to Nereus Clutch because you are it's just so clutch. It's so great. And I'm looking forward to it. I've reached out to Roll20 and said, "Hey, bro, can we get on your like streamy thingy?" And I haven't heard back from him yet, but I'm gonna follow up with him and be like, "You don't have anything like this programming. I know you're like, oh, but it's D&D. But trust me, you don't have anything like this programming. I don't care if it's just D&D, but you don't have anything like this." So, anyways, I'm excited, if you could tell. So that's all the announcements I have. Later this month, we have RPG Con. That is not all the announcements I have. That's a lie. Later this month, we have RPG Con. I have the first 2 adventures outlined. The third one is being worked on. I will then transfer them and get them out to my DMs, one of which is playing with us this evening. And we've got a lot going on. That Friday night, not only do we have the first night of RPG Con, my ass has a ticket to go see Kathleen Madigan, and I'm going to have to turn over the helm of the ship for that evening to somebody else because I'm going to go see me some Kathleen Madigan because that woman is funny as hell. Not to mention we bought the tickets like a year ago or almost a year ago, and they kept moving it, and then they're like, we're just not going to come. And then they were like, nah, I'm kidding, we're going to come, and this is the day we're going to come on it. So I'm not losing out on that. So, but still come to RPG Con. It's going to be a great adventure and a great time. Badges are still available, as well as tickets to the games. So that's all we got for that. Let's talk about the shenanigans we got into last week. Well, they found the depot. There was a big ass explosion. It ruined the city center. Not that it made much of a difference. The city was already kind of in ruins. Alerted a lot of people that, hey, there's some shit going down. There was a fight between our crew and some mechs. They didn't destroy a city block by making a small, controlled explosion within an area, although the desire was there. They took the mortars out and are coming up with a plan to launch those mortars into the depot, rendering it useless. And as they trailed off, getting ready to prep for the evening, a secret, a revelation, if you will, was laid upon them that Peter Dietrich and our good friend Colm Haim have some familial history. And with that going down and that tidbit of information, that's where we begin tonight's episode of The Troubleshooters. So, did you just say 7? It like threw me off. Congratulations. You got me. So,
Jeez.
Colm says I'm going to need some things to make this happen. Before he bops off to get those things, he does mention they're going to bring this to an end. Mentioning that it was his great grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, going into this. So, with that in mind, that little revelation being dropped, where do you want to start?
Would like to shake my cane to the sky. How many times do we have to tell you, old man? Done. That's it.
That's all you're gonna do? You just break off a stick somewhere and shake it like a cane at the sky?
No, not really.
Okay.
I believe I was leading Colm to the broken back. Is where we were leaving off there.
Yes, you showed him the spot, like the ruins where you can see the spot. It's exposed though. It's going to be out in the open.
Mhm.
But you can try to angle or find a better spot to try to lob those mortars into. But again, you got to remember you're doing this under duress because there are still, soldiers and units moving around. There's a lot less mechanized units now than there were, but they're still mechanized units. I mean, because you blew up like a lot of them. Blowing up mechanized units tends to limit the amount of mechanized units you have.
It's like a fancy restaurant. They're simply deconstructed mechs now.
Deconstructed means you can have the option to construct them. These have been blown the ever-loving shit up.
So Taco Bell.
Well, with that attitude.
Did you just say Taco Bell?
Yep.
Yeah. I did.
You can't cast mending on this. I'm sorry, it's not going to work.
You're gonna regret this in about 3 hours, my guy.
Regret nothing!
Grossly
All right.
overestimating that amount of time there. Give me like 45 and we're going to have a problem.
Listen, I've recognized that in my advanced age that I can no longer consume the foods that I once did as a younger man.
Shame.
As I ate a piece of pizza for dinner, one slice of pepperoni pizza, and the whole time I'm eating it, I'm just thinking, do I have Tums?
Weak. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I am. My constitution isn't the same as what it used to be.
It's that whole aging, the age ratio. But your mental stats are higher now, my guy.
Yeah, but my constitution's lowering, so I'm a wizard. Or cleric, whatever.
Or bard, the charisma's going up.
Everybody says that, though, like, whenever you do the puzzles, when you do the whole thing of, what class do you think I am? Everybody always says the same thing. Bard, 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 bard. Nobody says anything else. It's always bard. I'm like, could be other things.
No,
I'm a bard. I sing, I write, I tell stories. Yeah, I'm a fucking bard.
You sound so upset about that.
I mean,
bards are good.
Bards are good.
Bards are good.
Bards are good. I agree. Bards are fun. I'm not the stereotypical horny bard that has been introduced into the world.
That's what paladins are for.
The paladin oath of throwing it back.
I have a picture for that.
I was thinking, I just thought Otter was about to stand up and start throwing it back.
No.
And I'm a little disappointed that you didn't, honestly.
That's not for this channel, my guy.
Listen.
That's for the Patreon.
Check out my content at other place. No.
But Otter.
Oh my god. My ass is like, if Amaranth can get away with it, Otter should be able to. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, you don't know.
Moving on.
I'm just telling you. Moving right along.
So we were gonna go get the ka-chunk arm off of the that's now no longer.
Yeah, that is correct. That you're going to go get the ka-chunk arm off of the yeah, as you so eloquently put it. All right, stealth checks, please.
My worst enemy.
I'm going to show this to the world. Look, it's pretty dice. They're hematite. Ooh, shiny and reflective.
Still want to put it in my mouth.
You can't be saying that. That's not okay. Voodoo, it is not okay.
PSA to the public, do not eat your dice.
I'm talking about dice.
Yeah. Okay. That is not okay, Arby's. You cannot be saying that. All right. How did you do? Gedge? That grin on your face. How did you do, Gedge?
7.
Damn.
Yeah.
Look, maybe I should just hang out in an alleyway and let you guys do your thing and only come if you guys have a problem.
Just sitting there smoking a cigarette, like waiting for your party to come back.
Man, this tastes like nothing.
When will my party return from the war?
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'm fucking sad. How did you do, Emrys, since you want to start hurting feelings?
I rolled a 4, so
So 30.
16, right?
Yeah, 16. I rolled a 4, so it's 16.
Oh, man. That's great.
I figure I'd start with a number and then jump to the actual number.
Oh, yeah.
I always find that fun, to be honest.
He's messing with me over there. How about you, Moonin?
I rolled a 9 on the die for a total of 18.
Oh, for a total of 18, and still,
Yes.
like, oh my god, what is your dice rolls today, guys?
5.
Crap.
Okay, hang on.
We'll see what happens.
Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out.
Yep.
That's what it sounds like you're doing, though. Is that's the problem. All right. We rolled a 12, so we rolled a 19. Our highest was a 19. All right. So
how did Colm do?
Inconvenient
That's right.
for them.
Colm rolled a total of a 17. So
hey,
not bad. All right. As you guys start to sneak across the street, Colm kind of stops for a second and looks back over his shoulder at Gedge and goes, "Do you have any quieter shoes?"
I can take my boots off.
Wait a moment. I've only got a little bit of magic left for the day, but we can try this. And he doesn't cast a spell because he's not a spell caster, so to speak. But you watch as he takes out it looks like a twig or a stick, but it's made out of metal. And as he bends it, it snaps, and there's just kind of this rustle of wind that kind of rushes by you. And he goes, "There, I should help. Everybody I'll follow your lead." Quietly, as he casts Pass Without a Trace on everyone. And we're going to go ahead and roll that again as you roll your second stealth check.
Be kind to me.
22,
What does that do?
32.
It adds, I forget.
10.
Plus
Adds
10.
10.
Plus 10.
So I got a 32. And a 19 for our cleric friend, Liz.
Monk friend?
That's what I meant, monk friend. Thanks. How did you do, Gesh? 27. Okay.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I rolled a 15 twice, so.
Hey.
I also rolled a 15, so 37.
How about Moonin?
It's such a jump.
I tied the rogue with an 18.
37.
18 plus 9 plus 10.
I'll be wildin'. You just disappear from existence. I'm like, Fred.
Everybody's rolling Dex characters except for Gej. I'm coming to heal you.
It's worse since the robe of stars makes me go into the whatever realm with whatever I'm carrying. Does holding Gej in my arms count? I would try. Don't look at my +0 stealth. I would still attempt.
Okay, here's the thing. I will let you do that if you can manage using a strength athletics check to lift and carry Gej. However, you'll be moving at like half your speed.
Well, I can't really, even if I moved in the realm, it automatically shoots me back out where I originally was. So I would only be able to do it.
Like,
I would only be able to do it if we needed to hide.
Okay, so
So
like
hurry,
Gej
into my
leaps
arms.
into your arms.
Yeah.
Does that whole thing where it's like arms and legs around you.
Yeah, I'm
you
like
stumble for a second into the astral realm.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't in case measure.
I have a better question though. If you leave something there, does it come back with you?
I feel like it would. But no, it's just that meme of the chick
that
like
would
pointing
be
really aggressively.
That would be fucked up. Run up, hugs, grapple somebody, disappear, let go, and end the action and just leave them there.
That's gonna be a DM's call.
Yeah, that'll be
As you now, you will not be considered carrying something if they are fighting against you. It had to be willing.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Or you can just knock them out and then leave them.
Put them over my shoulder.
Listen, if consent wasn't given, they are not willing.
They get on top of me.
I will roll up my newspaper on all of you.
Whereas I physically agree for you.
Listen,
I
will roll up.
Isn't that what like Fast Friends is for?
100% agree with you, Kat.
Hey man, I got a story to tell you. You want to just come over here real quick? Yeah.
Go.
Poof.
Now, if they're willing to, because you cast Charm Person, you're like, listen, that is your best friend. Go with them. And they're like, bestie,
friend.
And then you just bamf.
Yeah.
He's gonna take you to Candyland.
I love Mongo. Love candy.
Candy Grandpa Mongo.
Okay.
Candy
I'll
Mountain.
Candy.
When the time comes.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
Just be like,
hey Bryce.
Yes, what's up, Bryce?
Yes, Bryce, you got here as we were being absolute silly pills.
Silly pills.
Silly pills. That's what we're being right now. You're
silly
welcome.
pills.
You can use that. We're being silly pills.
Cool.
All right. So, stealths, you are able to quietly move to where the last scene of combat was. As you look over, you can see the mechanized unit there. Operational, in other words, you can pilot it where it needs to go. But again, having taken out that arm, it's not usable while it's there on the mech. But of course, you have an artificer with you. He looks over the unit. All right, everyone, lay me down some cover. Keep me protected. This is going to take a moment. So, and with that, he takes out his engineering tools. Because there's no such thing as tinkering tools. All right. With your help, he is able to get the gun dismounted. So he's able to get the armament off of the unit. Now, it is a big, heavy piece of equipment. He's going to need some help carrying this thing. Or he can remount it and pilot the mechanized unit. Stealth goes out the window because I don't care what you roll. It's going to be heard.
Put slippers on the neck so that they're a little softer.
I get shoes off.
Okay, so it goes from being, it's like putting a silencer on a shotgun. Yeah, it's tolerable, but you still know somebody's shooting a shotgun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
You go from being to it's like it's still noticeable.
Are we gonna rest before we get into this shenanigan? I need to know.
I do believe Colm said they might need some time to properly retrofit the arm once we get it back, so there might be time for a quick nap.
Yeah, there'll be time for a short rest if you want to. If you want to do anything else, that's probably possible, but you got to think about the repercussions of your choices in that one.
Mm. I mean, short rest doesn't really do me any good. So,
are you sapped from spells?
Not entirely.
Okay.
Sapped from that HP though.
Short rests can help with that.
Yeah, hit dice. That's what those are for.
Yeah.
If we're allowed a short rest, I'll do that.
All right. Well, I mean, it is going to take him some time to fit that up. So I'll say with that time, you can take a short rest if you'd like to.
Yeah. Just gonna take a little nippy nip.
All right. As you set up to take a nap, Colm gets to work and setting about making preparations to turn this into an actual functioning mortar. Okay. Go ahead and fix it up. What's that?
What was that?
Bunny. It's a bunny.
I just saw it come into frame for a half second back out. I was like, the hell was that?
It's your DM, like the minor ADD that I have keeping my hands busy. So it's like for a moment I just was like, boing, 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 boing. All right.
I just got a squish ball for that.
I'm back here in my studio, so off the rails again. I'm finding I saw the inside of my new house and where I'll be setting up the studio, and I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
Just gotta make sure I murder all the children whenever that day starts. Nobody make a sound. Everybody has to be quiet. No, what? I'm gonna murder the children for real.
I am also scoping out my new studio in the new place I'll be moving to.
Hey.
That's right.
Yes, I will have a separate space other than my bedroom to join all of you folks. I'm looking forward to it. So are we taking the short rest where the mech is, or are we moving it back and then taking the short rest?
It sounds like you guys are going to move it back to where he can fit it. Thank you very much, Ayana. And then take a short rest from there. Is that what you want to do? It's your choice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to need a strength check. You will... does anybody else trained in athletics?
I have proficiency. Is that what you're looking for?
Yep.
Or no? I have proficiency in athletics. Yeah.
Okay. You can give somebody a advantage.
Yes, I will do just that because I don't think I'm going to be helping anything.
All right. Who's making this athletics check then?
Or I can make it if you want, but if it gives you advantage, take it.
If you would like.
I know that your monk is not going to. Your monk's looking at it like, that looks heavy.
I'm good at giving cover. If you guys want to try, I can make sure you're covered on the way back.
All right. Sounds like Gej is...
Because, stealth is out the window, but everything else...
Everything else is good to go. All right, well, that natural 20, what's your total?
21.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
You know when you pick up a heavy box and your friend picks up a heavy box, or the other side of the heavy box, but you feel like you've picked up all the weight and your friend's like, are you really helping? It's one of those situations. Colm has it. He's holding it, but you feel like you're carrying all of the weight of this thing. It is a heavy piece of equipment. As you start to make your way back, you are moving slower. I am going to need stealth checks from everybody. You will be making those with disadvantage, but you still get your +10. Well, you're already making them with disadvantage. Colm gets to make them with disadvantage, though.
23.
And that's 24 for him. How about you two?
30.
Okay.
32.
Plus 12. Plus 10.
Liz has a 35. All right. You guys get quietly back to the ruins. He sets it inside one of the buildings. You starts to work on it. As he puts to work on it, you guys can take your short rest. Go ahead and do so.
I will absolutely do so.
Don't forget, for short rest, Warlock.
Mm-hmm. Why would I use my
for those of you who
Warlock
missed it, look.
hit dice?
Shiny hematite dice. They're pretty.
Thank you for the suggestion,
Alright.
D&D Beyond. I think I'll be using my fighter hit dice. And not my Warlock hit dice.
Probably a good choice. Mm-hmm.
We level up again just out of spite. My next level's going into Rogue.
Go back into Warlock. I'll call Richard.
Just out of
I won't
spite.
You call Richard, it's like an
Okay.
old fling. You like the number doesn't work.
Yeah.
The number you're trying to reach is no longer in service.
Guess he didn't
Please
beat you
check
up.
the number and try again. Q, can I say that I love the fact that your mug has a big Q on it?
I will gladly say that actually Maddie and Nancy gifted this to me because we went to
what
chapters.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we went to chapters and it was just like there's the whole alphabet and I'm like, I don't need another mug, but that's got me on it.
Does it hold a whole quart, like a whole thing of wine, like your last mug did?
Maybe.
The way you just did that. Okay, so I know what you're drinking now.
No, actually, this is a chai tea latte with vanilla syrup.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
Being a little extra, I'm treating myself tonight.
I've got water.
I'll test the wine next time.
All right.
That seems like a campaign finale type choice.
Yeah, that's what we're doing next week. Except for me, who doesn't drink. So I'll be sitting there with my water. All right. As you guys make, that is absolutely right. I'll get a fancy glass with some apple juice in it, some sparkling juice. All right. As you guys finish up doing what you're doing. Oh man, there's so many jokes I want to tell you, but I'll just wait until later.
some sparkling grape juice.
A mega pint. Yes. A mega pint of wine.
my language.
Thank you, Bryce, for getting into that with me. I've been watching coverage here and there, and it's entertaining as shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, using some of the primers that you have, and some of the device itself has the primer that you need to send it flying. He says, I'm good at tinkering with these things, but I believe someone else should probably do the job of firing it. You can see that he has attached and fixed to it 2 arms that have a single plate that swings out and it like sets it in place. It is not going to be steady. You know that you may get one shot before you have to zero it in again. And basically, you're going to be making whoever's doing this will be doing a dexterity check, but the DC is going to increase for each shot that you try to take. So the next thing is to find a place. The next part is to find a place where you can fire it safely. Because remember, the spot that you've seen, that you've identified so far, is a little exposed. Like, if you get one shot off from there, they're going to spot you pretty quickly. And while the range on these is pretty far, it's not, blocks far. So, how do you want to go about this?
I have a weird idea.
We
do have other forms of explosives.
Hit it from two fronts. Confused.
Yes. I'm pretty good at shooting things. This is a bit out my wheelhouse, but shouldn't be too bad to hone in given a couple shots. If we can confuse them with other impacts, it might delay the amount of time it takes for them to figure out where these are coming from.
Okay. So you're saying create a distraction and then fire the mortar shell in there, right?
Mm-hmm. We have a delayed blast little orby thingy.
It's true, you do. How do you want to go about handling this? Obviously, you're going to go up and fire the distracting shots. Who's going to be firing the mortar? It's a hand-eye coordination type thing, so.
I can happily take the mortar if someone else feels like they would be better off as the distraction.
Taking the rifle up?
I can do either, possibly, but I cannot do both.
Okay.
Need to borrow a rifle if I could do that. Fortunately, I don't have one anymore.
You know a fellow who has one.
I sadly cannot offer mine.
Oh, that's right. You packed weapon to that thing, didn't you?
I don't have a rifle, period. It's solely being pulled from the void.
Oh, that's right.
Even the odds was set as my packed weapon. Everything else is just summoned.
Well, you do know where you could find some, yeah.
So weren't there some of those bodies over there?
Yeah, there's some of those bodies there.
Me for a moment, and I'll make my way over to the body.
I'm not going to make you make a bunch of stealth checks to run over and grab one of those. I'm going to let you easily grab a rifle.
I'll pull as much ammo as I can as well while I'm doing that.
I'm like, I could hand you a rifle. It would just disappear once I got more than a couple feet from you and show back up in my hands.
Yeah, that might not be good. Can I add
these... I don't know if you have one added, but you can. They are a 5-round strip, so it's basically it's actual clip that has 5 rounds into it. You feed it into the rifle, and then it pulls the strip down. Whenever it finishes, you hear ping, and then it ejects the rest of the strip. So you have 5 rounds with the rifle. It is bolt action, which means that you can fire 2 rounds in a turn. You're proficient with those, aren't you? Nimrus, you're proficient with those?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I only have +4 to hit. It's the same as my... No, proficiency. My proficiency lies in
You don't have proficiency in that because it's a martial weapon that would fall.
Mine's the finesse weapons.
Right. It's okay.
Crossbow,
I mean, the only
longsword.
difference is you don't add your proficiency bonus to it, so that's the only thing. All right. So you have your mortar person. You have your rifle distraction. Gesh, what are you going to do? Stand there and just arms akimbo staring out in the sky.
Set it on fire.
Sipping coffee going, it's a great day.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Can we find Gej another flamethrower?
I could go around to a side opposite of where Emrys goes, because I'm pretty sure I have the fireball.
Okay, just lob it over the wall and run.
Okay. Kobe.
It can be fired from 120 feet. So if you get a building that's close enough, you could probably fire it over the top of the wall. You'd have to get to an elevated spot close enough. So the perimeter of this is a large street, and then it is this courtyard that's been walled off with a building behind it. It's pretty secured. You remember there are 2 mechanized units outside of it. There are ramparts, and you can see soldiers on the ramparts keeping an eye outside. Emrys, give me an investigation check, please. Gej, also give me an investigation check, please.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
Got really nervous.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Emrys, you find a tall enough building. The whole front corner of it, on the left, like if you're looking out on the right side, the whole front corner is just now lying sluiced off like somebody sheared it. And you can see parts of the brick are still attached, but the bottom was just completely demolished, and like the building just kind of sheared off. It will provide you enough cover, and it provides you a sight line to where you can actually take a good shot from where you're at if you're laying down in your stomach. Gej, as you're looking, you see a 1-story building. It's like a 1.5-story building. The roof is actually intact on it, and you can see that you can actually get to the roof section. It's very close to the outer wall of this courtyard that's been turned into this depot. However, you reckon that you can get enough cover to where you can lob the 120 feet that you need over the wall and have it detonate above one of the ammo dumps, or at least some of the soldiers, and cause chaos. All right. So your mortar team is set up with Colm and Moonin. Your rifle team is set up. And your fireball team, something I thought I'd never say when it comes to tactical games with regards to military, but there we are. Your fireball team is set up. What is your go sign?
First mortar shot?
The first mortar shot, or
no? Because we're trying to hide where that baby is.
Okay.
So, I guess me first.
Unless you want boom goes the dynamite.
I don't know.
Otter.
I am sitting here, ready, waiting for my signal.
What is our
He
signal?
looks like, right now, Otter looks like Odin Fair from The Mummy when he's in the airplane. He's just all grins.
Yes.
He's got the mortar in his
I
hand.
love that.
He's just ready to blow shit up.
But also, kind of looking over to Colm. Great-grandfather.
Yeah, he's got some explaining to do.
And minor illusion, the traitor from the other being.
Yeah. We'll discuss it later. Who was taking the first shot? Was that Emrys, or was that Gej? All right.
I'm waiting for a noise that isn't us.
I'm waiting for a noise that isn't us. All right. Who's going first? Take your shot. I want you to roll. All right. Here we go. 3,
Sorry.
3,
Rock.
2, 1.
I don't know.
All right.
Okay,
Both
hold
of
up.
you prep up. Ready?
Ah,
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh.
I thought we were going on go.
okay,
You
you know
gotta
what?
do the
You know what?
thingy.
I got you. I got you. Everybody, ready? Starting positions. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And that's when we're going to go. Ready?
Oh, okay. Oh, that was practice.
Okay. That was
Rock,
practice. Ready?
Paper, scissors.
Okay. Ready?
Ready?
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Fuck.
What do we got?
Sorry.
I mean, you do
Okay.
have dice. Ayana's right. We do have dice. You
Yeah,
could
But
just
this is-
roll a
playing
die.
game. Yeah,
Way
listen.
less entertaining, y'all.
Yeah.
I rolled a 7.
I rolled a 13. So was it high or low going first?
I don't know.
I think high
went
makes the
high.
choice.
All right, I'll go.
All right.
We'll have to practice our rock, paper,
Ayana
scissors
coming in
screen.
here with logic. Do you know how much more fun it was to try and make that happen?
You know, I swear to God, we're smarter than this.
Speak for yourself, Cap.
Okay, well, I'm smarter. I believe that you're all smarter than this. All right.
I'll shoot. What can I shoot at? What can I shoot at that'll cause a little bit of a fun distraction?
Well, you
As a
can
person.
see several of the mechanized units on their stands being recharged. You can barely make out the very far ammo dump, and then you can make out the edge of this ammo dump. It's basically you can see the tops for all 4 of them, but you can't get a shot on 2 of them, and then the third one is just a very narrow shot, and the 4th one you have a shot on it, but it's going to be a difficult one. So,
Are there any, like, I say torches, but maybe lanterns that
Mhm.
would have been out and about by flames or anything sort of like that?
No, that's going to be electrical light.
Okay, it's all going to be electrical. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping if I could hit a lantern, it would just cause a little bit of a fire and it'd be fun. But
From what you know on the mortars, it's going to take more than just
one
a
shot?
lantern. It's going to take more
Yeah.
than the lantern shot. You don't think it's going to take more than one shot from the gun because you remember what Moonin did.
Yeah, and I don't think I want to. I don't know if I want to do that. But I guess I can try it.
You can also shoot one of the guys on the rampart. It's up to you.
Okay. I'll start with one of the guys on the rampart then.
Okay. Roll an attack roll, and this is not out. This will be with disadvantage.
$16.
That actually, you take a quick breath, remembering watching Moonin take a deep breath before he fires the shot. As he squeezes the trigger and let go, you remember all of the steps that to take with firing that, even though it's not your preferred method. But as you take a shot, it rings out, and then you watch as it, like a second later, or just a split second later, there's a, and I need you to roll damage for me, please.
Wow.
Do you have the damage for that?
I will in a moment.
Okay.
If I can.
Also, roll me a d20, and we'll say evens and odds. High evens, high odds. Low evens, low odds. Let me know what it is. Okay, low odds. All right. Go ahead and roll damage for me, please.
How far was this, by the way? I'm just curious. Like, how far?
You're probably a good, 3 blocks away, so that's why it was with disadvantage, because it's a difficult shot.
That's okay. 18.
18 damage? You can't see it in the lower light of the night, but you hear you don't hear anything. You see him just kind of stop for a second, and then he slumps forward. He doesn't seem to be moving, and all of a sudden you watch as others start to rush towards where he fell.
Huh.
Because what they saw from their perspective is so that is gone off. Gej, you hear the retort from the rifle a few seconds after the guy falls. Where are you throwing yours at?
Ammo.
At the ammo dump. Okay, so it's going to explode over the ammo dump. You heard the gunshot as well, Moonin. What are you doing? You going to fire right away?
I'm going to give it about 15, 20 seconds for people to realize that a shot came from a different direction.
Okay.
Let them react to it, so I'll count to like 15,
right.
20, and then lob the first round.
As you're counting to 15, you get to about 10, and you hear... and there is an explosion that completely engulfs one side of the entire courtyard of the depot. It lights up the dim sky, and just this bright orange glow that immediately disappears, and then there's this chain reaction as more of these mortars are engulfed in flame, and there's now this big explosion. So they don't know where your mortar shot is coming from, because there's
looks
currently
like my
a bunch of mortars going off. All right, I want you to roll sleight of hand or a dexterity plus proficiency.
I can do that. Dexterity plus proficiency. Wow, my brain just turned off for a second. That is 17.
Okay. Your first shot lands over the wall, and it detonates on impact instead of in the air. But there's no resounding ammo explosion. I need you to roll me a percentile die, please. Or roll that big-ass cast iron D100 you got.
I don't want to hurt my table. I tried rolling it on this table once, and it, like, scored up the material. I was like,
Oh, no!
Pull it on the mouse pad.
I did.
Get a little thing.
Get a little thing?
Get a little thing. Dice
I tried. I have one.
thrown my dice
and
out
it
of
put
this
a
so
dent
much,
in the side right here. There's a little dent in it from it hitting the side.
It's a cast iron D100. It's a cannonball. It's a small shot. It's what you have.
It's not a good time.
It's a great time.
That is a 26 on a percentile.
Okay. All right. The chaos that is going on currently has kept them from noticing where your shot is coming from. You will get another chance to shoot again as you just boop, and it fires. You reposition and tell Colm that you're ready for again. He drops the mortar in. I need you to roll again. Dexterity plus proficiency.
Let's do this one. I can't read this die. What is it? Aha.
Fucking problem of all players.
It's a 14 on the die, plus 5, 19, plus 4, 23.
Total of what?
23.
23. Okay. You boom, as you fire the second one, you hear that very distinct boom as it hits the spring and bounces out, sending it through the air. This time you watch as it whistles over. As it lands on the other side, it detonates in the air just between the two ammo dumps. Now both sides of this courtyard are lit up with explosions as mortar round after mortar round after mortar round. This chain reaction is going on. You hear this whizzing as one of them fires forward, igniting the propellant in it, and you watch as it hits one of the mechanized units. That creates an explosion that then rains down to the next one as they create an explosion. The mechanized units out front are now whirling around trying to figure out where this is coming from. Do you want to risk another shot, or do you want to just skedaddle? Actually, I need to do something. All right. So the two mechanized units are turning. The one that has the two tri-barrel machine guns seems to be zeroing in on your position. Do you want to try to fire another shot, or do you want to try to run?
We still have a couple more mortars left.
Yeah, you fired 2 and you had, I think, like 6 or 8.
We had 8, we're down to 6.
8.
Mm-hmm. I think we might want to go, Colm.
He nods at you. You're in charge. And he immediately starts beating feet out of there. All right, I need to.
Got any?
Are you just gonna
string in that
duck
cat,
out? Or you
buddy?
stealthing? What's that?
So you got any string on you there, bud?
String?
String.
He looks at his shirt, which you can see there's pieces of it that are tattered, and he just pulls a length of string out.
The mortars are activated by them dropping down the tube, yes? Like you just drop them?
That is correct. They drop, and then they hit the mechanism that springs the. It's a spring and like a cap. It's a blasting cap, kind of like for ammunition that sends it out, and then it's got stabilizing fins to keep it from spinning through the air.
Cool. Do we have enough string to give us some room to move, pull it, and run, so we're not where it shoots from when it shoots?
No, not unless you like. It'll take you some time to get that all done.
Wait. Idea. Dagger. This will give us about 30 feet of me being away from it before it disappears. Wedge
so you're
the
thinking
dagger
about setting the
under
dagger.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like the idea.
Yep.
The problem is that the mortar is like this tall, right? So it's the about 12 inches, about a foot, maybe almost a foot and a half long. It's that big around, and it's got stabilizing fins. You can put the dagger, but there's not like a slide or a hole. It's just the open end of the mortar. You drop it in there, and the mortar's not straight up and down. It's like at an angle.
Yeah. Shove the dagger between the fins underneath it, so it's wedging it from sliding in. It's partially in
like
the
taking
tube.
the stabilizing fins and shoving it to a spot where it doesn't inhibit it from it doesn't inhibit the blasting, the spring or anything else like that, but where it can kind of sit there wedged up.
Yeah. So if the tube is at an angle and you put the mortar with the fins into the tube, so it's just barely in there, and then use the dagger to give it friction so it holds it there. So when the dagger disappears, the momentum would slide it down the tube.
Give me a dexterity check, and I'll let you do that. No proficiency, because this is definitely an improvised weapon.
Improvise! Straight dexterity, that is a 12 plus 5 for 17.
Okay, so 17.
Yep.
Yeah, you think you can secure that pretty well. It's not too terribly difficult to do. So you wedge it down in there as best you can, and you two take off running.
Correct.
You get about 30 feet, and you don't know, you didn't really reposition it to fire on anything, so it's going to go to the same place where it was, hopefully. You call the dagger back to you. It boom, and then you hear the boom as it springs out. A few seconds later, you hear as it showers more damage just on the edge of the rampart. And all of a sudden, the top part of the wall, the rampart, everything is just blown outward. All the soldiers that were running there, they're just immediately gone. They're laid out on either side of the wall. The mechanized units are now moving forward at they've got the full throttle going. So they are sprinting towards where the mortar is. As a matter of fact, you hear a new sound, one that you're not familiar with, and it's this whirring sound. It's this increasingly whirring sound as it gets louder and louder. It's followed by percussive and all of a sudden, all of the wall and everything where the mortar is just covered in rounds. You see every once in a while, like every fourth round is a tracer. So it's like you just hear the guns automatically firing, and then all of a sudden you see lights. The whole thing is peppered with holes. The wall is destroyed even further, and it even wipes out the mortar as it completely covers that area. Stealth checks from you and Colm as you guys try to hide from these two mechanized units.
You got it.
Ooh.
21.
Okay. Floodlights come on as they start to boom, these two big lamps overhead come on, and you watch as the two mechs are turning in their I say mechs, they're more like power suits. They're not as big as mech units. They're just power suits. But you see as they're turning, looking, scanning the area, Colm stumbles behind you and falls down on his knees, like sprawled out in the road. You see one of the lights is coming towards you. He quickly tries to get up and run. With your help, he pulling to his feet, and the two of you dive in an alley as the light sweeps over where he was just at. You can hear them. And then you hear as the ground starts to rumble underneath the movement of gigantic feet. Gej, you feel this terrifying presence over your shoulder. You're hidden down, ducking back down inside the building. As you look out the window, though, you see it, and you can't help but swallow back a scream. I need you to give me a save. I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw.
A good save too. It was a 9. I rolled a 1.
All right.
That's unfortunate.
That truly is unfortunate. All right, we're gonna roll a d6. Awesome. As you watch this creature storm by, I need you to roll a d10 for me, please.
7.
Okay. You are locked in place as you watch this terrifying thing move past you. Even glancing upon it causes your mind to just fight and struggle against a reality of the sheer terror of this thing, the mass of it. You become hopeless for a second. Your mind is filled with insanity, and not knowing what to do, you just do nothing. You stand there quivering in this building, utterly alone. The creature moves forward. You hear as a building is completely torn asunder, the tentacles sweeping it out of the way like a child with a tinker toys, sends them flying. Emrys, you see it. It's two heads. One of them turns and looks in your direction. I need a wisdom saving throw, please. It's not looking at you. It's just looking in your direction. I didn't want you to think it saw you.
18.
Okay. As you look upon it, you swallow back and choke back a scream that builds in your throat. As you do, Okay. Actually, you find yourself stunned in place as it looks at you. Like I said, again, it's not looking at you. It's just turning its head like to look where you're at. And as you do, you are locked in place by just sheer terror.
So kind of it's like general gaze.
Right. Sorry. All right. As it glances over you, Moonin, you and your ally are also running from this thing in terror as you recognize the two mechanized units. As a matter of fact, I need to do this. No, actually, nope. Nope, I don't need to. It moves in your direction. As you glance at it, I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw as well, please.
Sure. Is that affected by this?
Is that affected by this?
There. That.
There. Thank you.
That is a
Yes. Yes.
total of 7.
You look at it, and your mind has seen worse things in that void beyond, and you are not phased by it. So there you
ugly motherfucker.
You are one ugly all right. It starts to move. I need to know what you guys are doing. Emerus, you shake that stun that you were in for a moment. You're able to move. Gej, you swallow back your fear as it moves out of sight. I need to know what you guys are doing, and you also need to know what you're gonna do. What are you guys doing? So we'll start with Emerus. What are you doing?
First things first, getting back down to Gej.
Okay. Gej is, so you're over here. Gej is over here. You guys are pretty far apart because you are going to be on different sides of the
Oh yes, okay.
courtyard.
Maybe
Would we have set up a rally point?
That's what I was just thinking. Moonin?
You tell me.
Seems like a smart thing to have done.
Mm-hmm. Probably the building we were planning from initially.
Yeah.
As long as the big beastie isn't heading that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It seems to be moving to where the wreckage of this. Are you shaking your head at me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You seems to be where the wreckage of this depot is where the creature is moving. Quickly, all of you, passive perceptions again. Emerus?
Not big. 14.
Okay. Moonin, like 20 something?
27.
27 for a passive perception.
Yep.
19.
I'm here to shoot things from a long ways away. I've got to have some kind of eyes.
All right. You guys move to your selected rendezvous point. One of these buildings that you picked not far from where the fight was that you had earlier. As you guys come in, Moonin, one of the things that you've recognized is you don't see any more mechanized units joining this combat.
Mm-hmm.
Just the two there. And then the creature. As you guys start to move in there, hiding. Everybody give me stealth again.
Dirty 20. 11 plus 9.
Okay. All right. How did Emerus do?
25. 13
Gesh?
plus 12.
Okay. All right. Luckily enough, everybody else was there to lift that up. As you start to run towards the building, trying to hide from everything, and it was enough to beat the perception score for the creature because everybody rolled crazy high. It does not see you as it stands towering over most of the buildings around you. You are well hidden. Calm lays back against a stone, kind of slumping down. He breathes heavily. Well, that was aces, wasn't it?
No.
No. No, of course. That's terrifying. We should do something about that. Any ideas? Thoughts?
Banishment.
He slowly turns and looks at you and he goes, is that something that you can do?
I get the feeling it won't last very long, but I'm send it away for a bit.
I need you, the player, to look at that spell.
Does it last for a minute?
But read it further. You see what I'm getting at?
No.
Okay.
If the creature is not from the plane you are currently on, banishing it sends it back to its home plane. If you can retain your concentration on it for the minute duration, it stays there.
Oh, okay. Completely,
Right.
absolutely, 100% overlooking that.
Yep. That's why it's dangerous, because if you cast it on something that isn't from this plane, all you have to do is make sure the spell lasts, and then it's gone.
I do believe
Colm looks at you and says,
also gave us a way to do that in auxiliary.
We also have a scroll, yeah.
oh, lovely. I could use a scroll. Are you prepared to do that now, or is that something you need rest for?
No. Whenever he gave us a scroll and told us that it might be of use, I went ahead and figured out if I had access to it naturally.
Excellent. So you would be able to cast it now if you needed to.
A couple times
We
if
have
I
this.
had to.
Oh, good. I think that we should try to do something, but do we want to try that now, or do we want to rest first and then try to do something more?
Nothing says we can't try it now and later.
It's fair. It's a good point. Let me do this.
I do feel like some clarification might be in order before moving too far forward.
Yes?
It is now later. We've raised all of the depots to the ground.
Correct.
Can we expand on the familial issues going on?
Right. Well, for us to do that, we're going to need to be elsewhere. Not out in the open or tucked into this building. One false move, he'll step on us, and so there we go. I have one last trick up my sleeve. And he takes one last thing out of his pocket. It's a miniature doorway. It's about that big. Looks like from a dollhouse. The frame and the door. He sets it on the ground, and as he does, he like pulls it and stretches like putty. And you think it's going to get to that tension point where it snaps, but it doesn't. He stretches it out side to side. And suddenly, standing in front of you is a doorway that you can walk through. He says, "All right, everyone, come on in."
Sure.
All right. And he steps inside. Inside of this mansion, it's beautifully set up and designed to house all of you, to provide you with food and shelter and keep you away. You already have been here once, this extra pocket dimension. The door is not visible. Well, it's slightly visible on the outside, but where he placed it, it wouldn't look really out of place. He sits down at the table, asks for somebody to bring him a change of clothes and prepare those things for him. And he says, "So, my great grandfather was a man of magic. One of the original pursuants to the study of the Librum Arcanum. He was looked upon as the premier force behind all things created magically. Expanding the ever-growing magic as to what it was. And honestly, he was sought out for his knowledge. He had an understanding like no one else had. But as with all things, power can corrupt. And my great-grandfather eventually started to become... He desired more and more. And not just magic in an understanding, but more like a life that he wanted to have beyond that which was allowed to him. By all magical rights, he should have been dead. However, what do any of you know of necromancy?
I don't know a
Only-
ton. But
Only
I
what
do
we were
know.
exposed
Oop.
by this. Sorry. I
Go
thought you were
for it.
done. My bad.
Nope,
No,
go
just
for it, Gish.
only what
Do
we
it.
were exposed to by Liz. That's
Yep.
it. Sorry.
Right. So, the Librum Arcanum had magic of all sorts. Separate schools of learning, depending on what you wanted to go with. Even the inclusion of the divine in how to tap into the magical energies and elicit those properties. It's another school of magic in and of itself, but at the same time, it takes a different form. It's like studying different versions of engineering, so to speak. No, that's not quite right. It's harder to explain, but there's the metaphysical magic that you see myself using, which is imbued within items, or the magic that you see your warlock powers or other things. They're arcane. And then you have the divine, which are more spiritual based. There's still a magic, and it works off of the same system of ideas and principles. However, the magic is granted as opposed to learned. Granted, we're not sure how, but it comes from a deeper study. You do a lot of reflection, prayer, and sort of those sorts of things, and it manifests itself through those avenues. One of the things about the magic from the Librum Arcanum was that it wasn't limited. There was a school of magic in there, however, as we looked upon it, we saw that it's not we, but I mean those who study the arcane. The school of magic dealt with altering life beyond its normal living. Unlike magics of the divine, where you could bring someone and restore them to being who they were, this manipulated them past death. known as necromancy. It was forbidden. The practice was unethical, immoral. There are some spells that are based in necromancy that were okay, that we understood them to be what they are, and they come from a place of the divine. But a place of the arcane, most of it was thought of as improper magic. The twisting of forms. As the Librum was further studied, there was a ritual that was found inside that could prolong the life of one. No one had ever really attempted it until my great-grandfather. The name he uses now is Peter Dietrich. The name that he had once upon a long time ago was Magnus Haim. His foray into the forbidden arts and the unethical put a dirty stain on my family's name. He was thought to have left. I found otherwise. And it was one of the reasons why I started the team that you are a part of. To seek out those things that should not exist, and to put an end to them, or to quell them. I have no control of magic. I don't desire that. Magic shouldn't be controlled. It should be monitored, certainly. It should be used in such a sense that it betters the lives of individuals, whether that be medical or technologically. But it shouldn't be controlled. It should not be created, or you should not be used to create a caste system where those who don't have it are treated as inferior people. Nor should it be used to ostracize those that do have it, creating chattel where they are used to the point where they are no longer human. That is the principle that I stand for. I will tell you this. Upon seeing Peter Dietrich, I did not realize that he, or recognize that he was my great-grandfather, so do not understand that I have kept this from you for that length of time. There were revelations that were had, and I couldn't find a good time to tell you. But it's one of the things that has altered my character in the last bit of time that you've known me. When we started out, I was ready to change the world, set things right. Fleeing into the new world changed me some. Coming back and seeing what the Directorate had become at the hands of Peter Dietrich, Christoph Anders, whatever name he wanted to use, I did some digging while you were taking the time that you needed. I found out as much as I could about him. And that's when I discovered it. At first I was embarrassed, and so I didn't say anything. And I apologize for not cueing you in on that earlier. I realize now, with our allies gone, that I should not have kept that from you, and I apologize. I hope that you can forgive me. And he just sits back in the chair for a moment.
Well, it would seem your great-grandfather has pissed off a lot of people in their time. so far as to come after and double-cross powerful beings in the world. Minor illusion. Once again, the two phrases, false deity, traitor. I don't fault you for not bringing us up. Bringing us into this information sooner. But it does explain some of your changes in demeanor throughout the process of tackling this. And thank you for sharing that with us. I don't know what else to say past that. So I just kind of sit back and look at my friends like.
I know that in trying to prolong his existence beyond its natural state, he has probably attempted to reach out to whatever force would listen to him. I'm not surprised that he got in contact with some otherworldly being. I'm more surprised that it would have been more. I thought it would have been more of them, sort of whoring himself out to whomever would let him live long. Apparently, though, he found a ritual that allowed him to do so.
I can't speak for other beings, I only know one of them, but who knows?
There's a term that they use in the book. I'm not sure the origins of the word, but it is the ritual allows one to trap their soul within an item, recognized as a phylactery. The phylactery then allows their spirit and soul to be bound to the item, whatever it may be, so that if their body is ever destroyed, they can reform after a short period of time from the phylactery. The word they use to describe these long-lived individuals is a lich.
Sounds like a type of moss.
And you see him think for a second, and then he just breaks into like this shoulder rolling laughter. It's not making a sound. He's just doing that thing where you bow your head and your shoulders move up and down. He does that for a minute, and then he just wipes his eyes and looks at you, and he says, "Indeed it does. I will forever call it lichen on a rock." I may laugh, but I don't know that anyone else will get the joke. But we have two issues. My great-grandfather is a powerful magic user, as is evidenced by the very large demon he has walking around with him. That brings us to our other problem, the very large demon stomping around the city. And I think we have a third problem. If your soul is bound to this phylactery, our third problem is going to be finding that. Because all we're doing at that point in time is prolonging the inevitable.
And if we get him once and don't have this Phil, he might not be so keen as to letting us find him again.
True.
Otter has a brain, but I'm just gonna roll to see if Moonin would remember this. Back when we first came across him, we happened to break almost a tank of some kind that had these weird floating objects in them. And he got very mad. I don't know what they were, but I know they may have been magically stuff. I don't know how this stuff works, but he seemed very mad that we were messing with it. And one of them broke and he freaked out. This was way back when we first started working together.
Right. When we first found him. I remember this.
I don't know if that has anything to do with what you're looking for, but it's the one thing I know we've done that made him mad.
I do so love perturbing grandpapa. Let's deal with... Thank you. Let's deal with one problem at a time. And he holds up the scroll that you gave him. And he says, shall we try?
And Gej would actually shed his overcoat because that's what's keeping him from being stealthier. Just
all right. Just Gej goes full buff. It strips down to the waist.
Join me.
Shirt. Hold your thirst. I'm kidding.
Our Father, who art
Take a
in
step
heaven.
back.
This
How
isn't
will
my
be.
fucking day. Your kingdom's not coming.
But
All
I
right.
am, and I'm bringing hell with me.
We're crossing over all the movies. Did it feel bad after you said it? Did it feel
Yeah.
bad? Yeah, that's okay.
You dare in my swamp?
All right.
I'm
He hands you the scroll and says, I looked over it. It's a bit beyond my capabilities. I believe this is more of that divine magic that we spoke of. But,
Right.
all right. How many castings do you have of this?
well, considering that it is starting off at a level 4 spell,
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 of them, I have 1 5, and I have 1
Mhm.
6. So 4
And a
and
scroll.
5.
Okay. So let's step outside.
And I take a
So-
deep breath and I scream, fuck!
Well, I wake in the morning and step outside.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to have to give me a save, but I need to know what's your DC. Or I need to give you a save, but I need your DC.
16. Damon.
All right. Anything you can bolster that with? Anything you have that can bolster that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The tenacity of my will. I can ask for some divine intervention as a Hail Mary. We can do that.
You want to do that first? You never know.
You never know. If I'm on Mars, I'll be a dick. No, it's a 58.
He needed, what, a 12?
An 11.
11. Yeah.
It's like, he's like, I did your favor for the year. Go.
All right. You
Oh.
pull up and cast out. You watch as the two heads turn left and right, but they don't seem to notice anything going on. They don't seem to pay attention. It's like they had a tickle in the back of their head, but they doesn't seem to work on them. You have to get closer. So you sneak closer. It's now 60 feet away from you. You're tucked into a building. You peek out and you cast it again. It's your second casting of it.
Mm-hmm. I'm keeping track. I am. At a
No
level
effect.
4.
You
Go
watch
on.
as it starts to lean down. Its hands, the two tentacled arms, kind of like moving around the building as it's trying to like zoom in and look around carefully. One head looking this way, one head looking that way. Third attempt.
I'm gonna pull out my spear. Just focus on that.
It starts to sniff the air. You can see the big nostrils on the like leathery skinned snout. That's 3, right?
Yep.
Number 4.
Boy, it's the last one. I mean, other than the scroll. That's what I got. This is my level 6.
It looks out and it seems to not be phased by it one more, but you watch as the tendril reaches up, wraps around the body of Peter, and pulls it down, gently setting him on the ground. He pats its arm as it unwinds, and again you see the face start to move around, closer now. You pull the scroll out. You feel a hand on your shoulder, and you hear a voice in your ear. Don't worry, you've got this. As you finish reading the scroll, there is a silence in the moment. You hold your breath, waiting for it to happen, to go on, to do something. And there is as you watch this head bend down, and you can see it now, its eyes finally finding you as you finish the last word. You feel the gauntleted hand on your shoulder just give you a little bit of a squeeze. As you do, it looks down and says, and then it's gone. There's a faint as it disappears out of the air. A scream from somewhere nearby yells out, "What have you done?" And you immediately retreat back into the doorway. He's like ushering you in as you bustle back into the door, keeping your thoughts on it, protected away from something. You keep your concentration. You just breathe, and breathe, and you breathe. And eventually, a minute passes. Nothing seems to be coming back. Two minutes. Colm looks at you, his face a mask of worry and confusion. Did it work? Is it gone?
I can't imagine how pissed off Grandpapa is right now.
I believe that he is quite angry. I do believe he's quite cross with us. Oh well. I feel like we'll have waffles in the morning. He kind of sits in the chair for a moment. I could use with a good bath and a nap. What about the rest of you? Excellent. You all retire for the evening unless there's anything else you want to do. You are escorted to your rooms within the mansion. Colm does not go to his room. Instead, he goes to his workshop. There, into the long hours of the evening, he toils away at stuff. You awaken the next morning with a wonderful meal. Rested, so go ahead and get a long rest in, everyone.
Waffles.
There is a feast set out before you, including waffles. A full English breakfast. And you see Colm comes in dressed in a waist-length coat that is done up nicely, smartly. A pair of like chinos and smart like combat boots, and across his shoulder is an accordion briefcase. It kind of like puts his hand on it. Doesn't have all the useful tools that I had in it, but there's a number of them. You are well rested.
Aye. And you look more you.
Thank you. I feel more me.
Oh, good.
Well,
Because, no matter what, Comhame, you still haven't told us that story of how you held a hill with a flagpole and you promised us that one day, so.
yes. Well, perhaps when this is over,
Looking forward
I'll
to
tell
it.
you how to hold a hill with a flagpole and a few other tricks. Well, this will be collapsing in around us soon, shall we? And he makes his way out of the building, waiting for all you all to pass through. As it does, the door and just like shrinks back down into a small size. He says, "Oh, I forgot to imbue another one. Oh well." And he kind of tosses it over his shoulder. Right. Shall we then? And he stops and turns on his heels and looks at you all and goes, "Where do we go? Any ideas?"
The spire wasn't completely destroyed. Maybe check there.
Could try to rebuild it. That's a good point.
Or
Shall we then?
set up a fireworks show and bring him to us.
I also like that idea. What do you guys suggest?
Well, we do still have 6 mortars.
True.
Nothing to launch them with anymore, but
Unfortunately, I don't feel like lobbing them is going to take them very far either.
they
Still a
still go
damn good shot.
boom if you shoot them.
This is true. They do go boom if you shoot them. So we're going to go blow up some mortars.
If we want to make some noise, we can certainly set them at a distance and play target practice.
All right. Again, all on you all. Where are we going?
Yes. Also,
This is where you lead the way.
Emrys,
Yes.
was that fellow falling off the rampart you're doing?
Yes.
Good shot. Well done.
Moon's over there like, I'm not
I'm
crying.
pre-
It's dust. It's just dust.
It's the
It's just
dust. I'm not.
It's fine.
I'm just proud of you.
It's all good. It's a good
I
shot.
saw what you did, and I want
He's
you
my
to know
boy!
I am proud.
he's my special boy.
I like that a lot.
keep that rifle. You did real good, kid. All right.
I
So
see.
where do you want to go and set this up?
You want to rock, paper, scissors for it?
This time, you and Otter.
Go for it. I want to see how this goes down.
I have a die ready to roll.
Oh, lame.
He's no fun.
The D20? Okay, I've got one.
I love how it fell, but there's no noise, so my mind is still falling.
The Abyss.
The Abyss. Moonin finds so much good stuff there. I can't see that. So one.
I tried to get it to pick up on the mic too. I literally held it right next to it. It's right here.
What did you roll?
Not a 1.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter then. It's not a 1. All right, so where do you want to set up? What do you want to do? Where do you want to set up shop on this regards?
See, like, me as a person, I'm just like, we would have the home field advantage if we lure him away. But we could also bother his home field if we go and blow stuff up there. But he would probably also bring more backup if he came to us. Unless he's just that irritated. These are my thoughts.
I wonder if the part of the city that would mess with his magic is still doing that.
We could
It would
go
mess
check.
with ours, but it would also mess with theirs.
You, the barbarian's carrying around a skillet, and every time he says, "I'm a magic user," really? Yep, I cast iron.
I hate that,
Clang.
but I love it.
I cast iron. Clang. All right. So, what's our plan? Gonna
We're-
head to the magic dead zone.
Go into the wibbly wobbly magic stuff.
You tried, and I'll give you for the attempt.
Thanks.
All right. So you guys are gonna head back into the magical dead zone, quote unquote. All right. As you head back in that way.
Don't do that.
Sorry, long day. So you're gonna head there and then do what? Set up explosions to draw him in. What's the plan?
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay. So you head to the magical side of the city. Tell me how you're gonna set up these explosions so that it doesn't level the city that's underneath it as well. What's your plan? Are you setting him up at the edge of it, then drawing him in? Okay.
Gotta get him close.
All right.
Angry
Now
people
these don't
make
have a
videos.
timer on them, so what do you plan on doing?
Set them off so that they're out of radiuses and set them off incrementally.
Okay.
If that works for y'all. Or you, Moonin, because you're the one that's going to be doing the shoot.
So I'm the timer.
Yes.
That's the episode of the title, right? The title episode right there. I'm the timer.
Randy, I
Well,
am the liquor.
Look at me now. I am the
I
timer.
will summon the rifle. If we're within the non-magical zone, I can't
not.
do this. But if I set up outside of it with a view of how you want to have these set up, I can absolutely do that without getting into my ammo that I will be able to use once we lure him in.
Now you can test the bubble and see where the very edges of it are, if you would like to.
We can also play on the line.
That's true. Step right outside of it and then step in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Take a little bit of time along the border, just like rifle.
Because
Rifle.
if he's some sort of magical being now, he might not even step foot in it.
It's true.
And if we're too far in, then we lose him.
Also true. So you take the time to set up your diversion, heading around and putting these in spaces where you can get a shot off from where you're going to be safely at the edge of the bubble, correct?
Yes.
Look, a distraction.
All right. So you quickly set those up, or take the time to set them up properly. Testing the bubble. Are you going to be doing this from street level, or do you want to climb up into a building? How do you want to do this?
Depending on
do a
the
mixture of the two,
yeah.
depending on weak spots.
I would
Mhm.
like to do a test.
Yes.
Okay.
Get Moonin to set up outside the bubble and shoot into the bubble and see if his bullets pass through or if they dissipate hitting the bubble.
If the magic bullets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I will just aim at the side of a building.
We'll set you a bottle up over there. Just
Yeah. Sure.
shoot that,
I can do that.
Okay.
I will summon my rifle and shoot magical bullets.
At the bubble area, you set the bottle up on the end of the street. The gun retorts. The shot soon sends forward, as soon as it gets to the edge of the bubble, like it hits the bubble, you watch as it just fades away.
Or you couldn't even be posted up outside of the bubble, shooting into the bubble.
No, but that also means that him throwing things into the bubble might not make it through either. I don't know how the technicalities work, but...
So what you know right now is that if you shoot magic into the bubble, it seems to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And your magic doesn't work inside the bubble, so you can't summon your rifle to you.
Well, I can certainly set up outside of the bubble and shoot any of the ones out there. And
then run.
I have real guns that can shoot into the bubble. Just the pistols.
That's true, you do have that.
Mm-hmm. The only two guns that it looks like I'm carrying.
Right. All right. So you set it up outside the bubble? Or are you setting those mortars up? So let me make sure that I'm clear on the plan. Where are you setting the mortars up at?
Side of the bubble.
Outside of the bubble.
Mm-hmm. Because we don't think that he would come to the inside of the bubble.
Okay. And Moon and you are going to be firing with your pistols or with your rifle?
For anything outside of the bubble, I will be... do you want me set up shooting from within the bubble or from outside of the bubble? Gej and Emrys.
New title name, The Bubble. Reminds me of Venture Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
There was a scene where they had the nozzle. Please do not move while we calibrate the nozzle. Do not look away from the nozzle. There is nothing to fear from the nozzle. It's always going to be one of my favorite bits. I absolutely love it.
Call the next episode The Anger of Grandpapa.
The ire of Grand Papier.
Yes.
Lord.
Okay, so you set up the mortars because I'm starting to get off the track there. Set up the mortars on the outside of there, taking your time to stealthily do so. You prepare your rifle. Are you firing at them from outside the bubble, correct? And then you're going to drop back in if they draw the attention of this man, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Because we're gonna, I feel like we kind of like set them up like a working closer from each spot.
Okay. Like training in, right?
Yeah.
I will follow whatever instructions I am given by Gej and Emrys as to the order these are to be shot in, and I will attempt to do so in kind.
Okay. You take careful aim. You set off the first one further away from where you guys are at. It goes off, igniting with a glorious scene from probably pretty far away. You wait. How often are you going to set them off?
Looks to my team.
30 seconds.
This way on the
hour.
overlay.
How long? Yeah.
I look at the rest of my team, which is this way.
I had to look over here to go, this way.
You're all around me, so I don't know where you're at. I can't just...
All you have to do is point to the corners.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Just point to the corners.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who's in what corner? That's the problem. We're all looking now to see where everybody's at. What did you guys do for the last 20 minutes of your show? Point at each other.
Yeah.
I know where everyone is. Liz is that way. Gej is that way.
See,
Moonin is that way.
Moonin is this way.
No. Moonin's like down here for me, I think. Wait, no, I'm going the wrong way. Down this way.
It's that way.
Moonin's over here.
I have
I got
derailed
edges
the
over
train. I'm so sorry.
It's your fault.
Gedge is
Otter.
over
Guess
there.
that way.
Emrys
I do
is
not
this
know
way.
directions.
Whew.
Emrys
This
is
is this way.
there. Yeah.
The reason
Yeah,
that
for
I
me,
know
Gedge
this
is
is
easy.
because
I can just do this, and I'm fine.
Cool.
yeah. See,
None of this
what I
angle.
do is you're all at it's opposite of where I point. So
Yeah.
it's opposite of where I point. And
Moonin.
that's how I figure out where you guys are at.
I'm
Get.
just like,
So anybody, we have new viewers pop into our show. They see us acting like assholes, pointing at each other on the overlay because this is the kind of stupid shit we do in the later part of the show. So yeah, you're blowing up mortars to draw the attention of a lich, by the way.
Like 30-second intervals make it kind of sound like a fight's going on. Maybe like, I don't know, pop some shots from some shitty looking guns that we found on the side of the
Man,
road from dead people.
Where's Skywright when you need it? Grandpapa, would you like dinner?
Get your bitch ass over here.
You know exactly what your Skywright would say. Hey yo,
And
baby. Hey yo, baby.
it has a bowling ball and some wet pants. This is a threat.
It doesn't do emojis. It's Skywright. Stop it.
It can do what we want. It's an O and a T really close together.
I would like to write in emoji in Skywright.
It's the poop emoji.
Is that what
This
is that?
is you.
I believe it's an eggplant, sir. What does that mean? It's an exactly. I believe it's an aubergine, sir. They don't have eggplants.
I do believe someone is calling you for companionship.
I say so. I believe it's what the children these days refer to as a booty call.
Oh, God.
I hate myself for just saying that. All right, so you set these off at 30-second intervals.
I will.
Bang! Every once in a while, you fire off rounds from some other rifle to create the cacophony of some sort of battle going on. Bang! Eventually, they all come to rest. All of them are spent. You wait. And you wait. Are you still outside the bubble, Moonin?
I feel like I would be trying to keep an active eye out for any movement that isn't us, and from there pulling back.
Okay. You're standing at the edge of the bubble waiting to see if something comes through. You don't see anything. Suddenly, though, your voice or your head is filled with a voice. I've tried the others. They are not reachable. My only thought is that they are outside my reach. Come to me.
Is this Maxim?
No response.
I'm going to think really, really hard to the giant eyeball beast and go, I think I found him.
Your skin feels like something slick and malevolent is rushing over your skin, like a tentacle that's moving across your back and shoulders, and it creepily reaches into your mind and it says, "Good. Destroy him. Make him suffer." And that oily, creepy feeling washes over you and seems to dissipate out the other side. For a moment, your mind snaps to, and you see a singular focus there in the center of the town. The ruined four spires sit before you. You look at them. There's a new purpose in your life. There's a new reason for you to move forward. One singular focus. Make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Boop, boop, boop. Wisdom.
Believe in you.
I believe in you.
Don't be me.
Oh, yo, gorge.
What I even
What did you
roll on
roll?
my die? My brain just completely erased itself of the number I looked at because I just have Mickey and fucking Goofy playing in my head, and it was like, you don't need numbers anymore. It doesn't fucking see anything.
MICKEYMOUSC.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that was a wisdom
What?
save.
Yes, wisdom saving throw.
Jesus. Get out of my head. Wisdom
Okay.
saving throw is a 19 total. 15 plus 4.
Let's go.
Okay.
I had to get that out before you kept derailing my brain.
Numbers are not important. Only
So you singularly focus up on
Yuck.
this feeling that washes over you, and you want to pursue him. You want to chase him down. You want to put the barrel of the gun in his face. You want to just continuously squeezing the trigger. It's this rage that washes over you. And then you shake your head for a second as you realize you've walked like 15 feet from where the bubble is, like forward, before you like shake your head and come back to your own control. But for a moment, you had a singular focus, and that is to kill that man with everything you had.
Where's Moonin? I don't know. Just walked off into the distance. Whew.
There goes a
In the
brave
words
man.
of, in the words of the Jesus, I take it from you and I stick it up your ass and I pull the trigger until it goes click. Q, you okay, Q?
Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
I will
Nobody fuck with it, Jesus.
slap my face a few times, look around, realize I've moved, and head back to my companions to let them know where Maxim seems to be hiding.
Where are you going?
I'm going to make sure
Where?
that this is done with the full force of what I can offer.
He dies.
That we agree on. I have
And
3
as
other
you
companions.
enter into the Well, as
That
you enter
very
into the
much.
bubble,
Yeah.
like the voice just fades from you.
Wondering if walking into the bubble was going to put him on mute.
That would have been so convenient with Richard.
Right? I'm like,
Sticks
damn,
head out of
I got
bubble,
this bubble,
sticks
like-
head in bubble. Sticks head out
Look,
of bubble,
What are you
sticks.
do?
I
Did you
can
head
only
back in?
imagine- I
Water.
can only
Come
imagine
back here.
doing-
Stop doing why ass.
I could only imagine doing that with Richard, how much that would bother him. Oh,
Don't get me
Richard
wrong.
would
Me
yeet
personally
himself
love Richard.
into the bubble.
Imagine
I
if
love
Richard
the fact
was
that we
still
just didn't even say
stuck
his
with
name,
us.
his real name for anymore.
What if he
it's
was
not
still
Gratz.
stuck with
It's
us
not
at the
Gratz
time?
anymore. It's Richard.
It's Richard.
That's the name he gave us. That's the one that stuck.
I mean, somebody knows his real name.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at you.
I mean,
Yeah.
mine doesn't really have so much of a name, so we'll just
Yeah.
call him
What's this?
Tentacles.
What?
listen, I just have a bad memory. Don't look at me.
It's okay.
Well, I mean, you kind of didn't want people to know that he was a demon from the get-go. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
True.
Hello.
As you enter back into the bubble, though, you don't. There doesn't seem to be any movement. There doesn't seem to be anything coming towards this distraction that you've laid out, well planned and thought out. They don't seem to be moving in the direction that you want to. It seems as though he's pulled back his remaining forces.
I will search out my companions.
Yeah, they're easy to find. They were kind of tucked back, waiting for this to all go down anyways.
Ahoy!
Colm,
No one is coming.
no one.
Your grandpapa reached out to my brain, spoke in my brain, said that, tired of playing games, wants us to come to him, and I have on good authority from another friend that he's in the center of town by the spires.
Well,
It would seem a friend who very much wants to see him again.
well, what's the saying about troubling times when good men go to war? Shall we go say hello? Once and for all.
It's time to end this.
I agree. And he starts walking towards the center of town. As he gets outside of the bubble, he stops for a second, tucks into a building, and comes back out. Throws the loop of the leather strap over his shoulder, puts his hand on his accordion satchel, looks over his shoulder and says, "Are you coming?"
Hey. Sudden plunge on a sullen swell, 10 fathoms deep, on the road to hell.
Ooh, I do like that. And as you make your way, the motley crew that you are, starting off as Team Apples but becoming the Troubleshooters, you march your way to the center of town for the final confrontation. That is where we're going to call it for the evening. Next week, 2 things. 1, the giant conclusion to this, the Troubleshooters, as well as a sneak peek into our next game, Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Make sure that you tune in next week to see how this all goes down. Maybe they'll win. Maybe they'll all die horribly, except for Gedge.
He'll die. He'll just
Who knows? Oh, that would suck, though. Just
I
forever
was
being
just
tortured
thinking
by
about
Peter.
that earlier. Like,
Yeah.
when Gej was doing the banishment, tries to do divine intervention, and Mars is like, what are you worried about? It's not like you're gonna die. You'll do fine.
But I have
It's just
friends who are
gonna
fleshy.
hurt a lot. Just because you can't die doesn't mean you can't live through the pain.
Yeah.
So tune in next week for the final episode of the Troubleshooters. Thank you to all of my players. We got off the rails all over the place, and I absolutely love it. That is the thing I'm here for. I love that shit. So let's do more of that. In the meantime, thank you all for tuning in. Stay tuned. We're going to raid. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for Remnant Shadow. And then, yeah, Wednesday night. Is it May 11th now? Or is it
The
May 4th?
11th.
The 11th. So next Wednesday will be Fall Skull and Knights returning to us. Don't forget that for now, Sundays, we're on hiatus. If you are a DM or you want to run a one-shot for us or anything else like that, our Sundays are open. Please let me know what you'd like to run. In the meantime, thank you all, and stay tuned while we go raid somebody else. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all next Monday. Good night, everyone.